020770410 na ene Prince Mark for nkomodie no enkoso wonum a eye mema entie nhye no nso edro ba ko enne aba wonum a hye da tena ase aye nhyehyeye aye nhwehwemu scientifically na Food and Drugs Authority nso age atom eye tonchi herba medicine eboa mema no wonum a edika atobie no edi ho adanse we no enye kitikiti sabrofo de no eto no bo ase na build o system no na esiesio enti woye bema kona kope bito eye fonso ne bo enye den na eye adwuma pa enti kaina hye no nso ye friend tonji herba capsules pe na tobi eye mema nko na enom na ye duro na asese ye mema nko na enom a na wahunu se na adwuma eba be ya de ama ono ade anigye ebeba wokọ kan shi drug lane ho a wonom a ewo drug lane ho nyina no ebi wo ho a wonsa ebeka bi na upebi nso atu akwa akoton a wobefre 0553 511159 0553 511159 na ono mo edinkomo wo prostate problem nso a tonchi herba yi boa papa antini yesi mema na enom mo am wo madina no mo betumi afre 0246 131473 0246 131473 0246 131473 na wadi nkomo mema yo wo fomu a kope mema duro no bi na bobo na enye kama intimi emo Spanish garlic mixture so e wodwa so ya onene nua Spanish ginkgo capsules adwuma eye ne se ma moja di afrusane wonim sa Spanish de ene garlic ye dia yi se eba se nyame wadom ne bi ko nipadua no mu a na che se wahoden no ebeba soro pa kai na hye no nso ukodwa so a na no nso wapebi na wanonom ne kakra eboa ama hoden no aba Spanish 0266 114111 kai na no nso hye no nso mami okay.
In Ghana has become a ticking time bomb, costing about 2% of GDP every year. The objectives of the energy sector recovery program are completely off track. Fixing the sectors require radical measures. High generational costs due to lack of competition and limited renewable capacity in the energy mix is a problem. High distribution and collection losses at ECG. High distribution and collection losses at ECG is also a problem. Currently, only 62% of total energy purchased by ECG is collected. And even out of this 62%, 65% of that amount is used to pay for supplies through the cash water fall mechanism. Unfortunately, 35% of the ECG's revenue is used to take care of ECG themselves over things that they don't actually require.
107.1 swini mohu baby a omode ade ne nam no ma menya ko president Kufuor do beto 2.5 billion energy sector debt wo kro no nso na okọ parliament na nkasa ye twato no se enom beto ye basa gya ne sa pepepepepe na no ye a omobae ora gina porchle se eduro 3 billion ora se tekwe no finance minister Kesela 24 nso ne nam ho se nya papa wo ntimi gye wo moto o se do msiki ka kro no ansa na no so na John Ginapo adika henti yese ye beton so ho ye beton ti o matena ase yes sisi e isa se kana wo ho no behwe na o makobi no o mamna duru 3 billion nti wo moto aso akro finance minister say 2 point something of GDP so ho di e keka de no de afefa ho ya ni bebe ho so no na che say crying away crying adomadaso crying away na mampani mahama enkasa yimu na no okọ mrahye badwafi so de ko tu dwa say ya anya ho bibia e be collapse economy no 2.5 billion no say ya anya ho bibia no 2.5 billion president Kufuor do beto ye ena wa kono kakra konanim na banachi na o manage yen kane na konanim na banachi ode de saa na waja no ho e de ama eja o cross wa ko tenafia ma experience aba ya wo be wo di suahunu na eba nti minim sana 2.5 no de nka e ho tete ho ene ho hyehyɛ ne ade nyina no ya de down nice so wa wo be enga wo be ma a solution a pan say da bi ye ton anye ye na emom no ye hwe anim na ye be we na atumi aboa Ni asisi e wo wadwen mu an say yenton e asem a e hadwene on Facebook set Ado says over Ghanaians deserves better from the NDC government too. You better pa any kaina Shannon song. And this one King Badger says good morning to you and Abena. You guys are doing a great work. We thank you for that. I'm watching you live inside Agona Abodom. Agona Abodom. Yechi Abodom for nyina nso so mo NTA. Na adwen pa hini odi asempa the second. This Dumso government with this appointment still they can't perform. Yes, nipa no doso but yesika no bi ekwakope. Afo says good morning YAB. Thank you. Asida ye nyankopon edia. NDC government wants to do their thing back again. Oh, they want to sell ECG. Pepe. Abe ECG ne de ekokora wie dada.
Honorable Frank Asiedu Queen said we shall resist any attempt to sell ECG.
Oh, tisu hum no okika de ene de. If these MPP shouldn't solve the internal wranglings before 2028 part dear, then MPP we should forget. Nititu Utu Senior West constituency. Assemble na aba ho. Abi Assemble na ewo ho. Kennedy Nano says if a private company can make profit, how can the government-owned enterprises do losses? Okay. Kwakwado says from Tishi, good morning, Ofaya. Good morning, Seth Ado. Yeah, that's also Adjani. Awuku Wakaswa. He says, great show, keep it up. Really shaping the nation. Also, yeah, that's it. So, also Adjani. Yeah, good morning, YAB. You guys are doing great job. Bless you. Ni Adukwe Brown. Ni also, yeah, that's Emmanuel Boache. And Chia and I would by should come together and save Ghana again. Oh, Betty Hazel says, please, MPP should come together. Omuguso, very, very sad from that of the NDC. Omuguso and Jeno Ekoso. The current administration has been in power for only 2 months and have already borrowed 67 billion cedis. Masa Udu Kumasi sa pepe penetie. Whenever MPP is in power, they don't think about their party and its members. Ebenezer Kizito, the official driver for President Mahama is Ibrahim Mahama.
Now call voter region. On a driver. No.
I see.
Our presidential canim.
Bro. On
a driver no call. Who ya na me kase bia. Social media no money me afemi hu video ankasa o do ya we see from.
Yes.
On the driver.
Cause is kroni e dia. Ope e dia.
Na dem no wo na.
Pepe enye dem no ye na ene
Honorable Asiedu Queen said what one can loud and clear. I see the kind in our
minimum so Betty so on the na ni o krom ha
waba
okay
waba fasting into what no ho see
yeah say it do fasting say dia na che say also de no ho see but to force say yeah say generate ska e o krom ha ya.
Fiscal challenges and opportunity to support and the need for us to talk about revenue now. We can't develop if we fail to generate resources internally. Your Excellency, Ghana has not performed well in revenue mobilization compared to its peers. Ghana's domestic revenue mobilization has stagnated in the last decade and remained below our peers. Ghana collected 13.5% of GDP in revenue, tax revenue. Collection from other major taxes remain low, especially value-added tax, as compared to our peers. Numerous exemptions and complexity of tax system have a detrimental impact on revenue. Tax administration challenges also contribute to compliance gap. And I have 2 different graphs, the one on total tax revenue and the one we need to take action, the value-added tax. You could see the long line, the yellow line, dotted line, and the dotted red, representing where Ghana is and where our peers are. When you look at the other one, the value-added tax, where Ghana is and where our peers are, clearly shows that Ghana is lagging behind in the collection of tax revenue and, more significantly, value-added tax. This will mean we need urgent reforms to rationalize our value-added tax regime. Currently, it has been distorted, and as a result, there is very little compliance. The VAT gap is huge. Last year, GRA programmed to increase the VAT effort by 32%. Unfortunately, they ended up doing 17%, clearly below inflation, and that should tell you that there is a significant problem.
107.1 so na nje be kwa ahma so but yan waka say Give Us Scientific Herbal Center wonom ewo edura eye adwuma pa capsules, cool capsules and afi herbal mixture na GC mixture na the capsules no ensoansoa na eyifiri ho o ma sheda year for ensoanti ukodwaswa na wapebi 0543222470 0543222470 na eno nso wakai ahye no nso ede amame and ochire SS msabofa mahama dumso egino nani e wa be de seja
enka me yesu
ade
me hu jira me
utrie
honorable enye kura o enye omunye hu bibi na ade na aban bi de obade a otumi manka na agina so na mo de mo ba na ye dundum kanea sa na no memenda ma na de chin we
sa
enye kura o enye
kafra
ha adwene
kafra lenti nso na wo so yi
mana enti affect me nra
na no lenti na me ka se yi ba ko free mu ana ase da bi na dum so san bai
Saturday ni de na enkoyi honorable
kafra
dum so ne de o de dum so na bo na minority for ni so anyum ma no ma
dum so na bo
24 hours of dum so nko
o de dum so na bo I'm not surprised a country with low IQ, these are some of the leaders we get and its rippling effect. Good job that's the job for the boys. Waste of public purse. Is this a lean government he promised Ghanaians? Say also the ODA by Honorable. I'm wondering whether the review committee has taken into consideration the demography of regions, districts, and constituencies. These factors could spell out effective line of question as the demography also dictates the culture, beliefs, and tradition of indigents. It's very relevant. Oguseku, may assure, say Omachichimti. I'm hoping Senjichimono so at the emphaso. Okanwa semi Ede Beba. Good morning. MPP are more Catholic than the Pope. They always ignore their supporters when they are in power. Kafra, Pasolo, the work we have him. Pasolo, Kafra, Uberne Day. We can't only generate money when you ministers, MPs, and other government officials stop. We can only generate money. Okay, stop buying SUV and fuel it themselves. Redu wine. I know the no kajman or more no honti. So I don't do any ato so there any you any hope because anya de obi de car be so na o no why you anya baby afa. Ma nya akwa nim kakra yemfa de obonkrata no nto aso. Okay.
Daily graphic the obokrata no enie na budget asem no no de ato wa kakra 2025 budget tomorrow. Na wose oswafo a wohwe Ghana yesika sem so Dr. Casey Atofos no china ode omen ya konhomabo sika ya we na di kan a aban we ede ne budget eba betudwa na wose beye enhyehyeye ahodo a wo mo de ba be reduce specific taxes etuo ne bi wo hono mu a wo mo eba be ye free ho bi nso wo ho a wo ba beteso afen so omo the social reforms bebre ba ebeboa ma economy no a stabilize anase ebegina ne naso na no ora Felix Kwachofo so ne nsemtwefo kasaye no wose sesia ye kasai budget no cabinet approve dada wo mo agi atum enti wo mo edeba na NDC for ansa na wo mo ebeba oman mu no anaso mbeba aban mu no wo mo ka kire yen se taxes ni biti se e-levy COVID-19 levy betting tax ene saa nneɛma no nyinaa no wɔn bɛyi de afiri hɔ enti ani da kwan sɛ budget yi mu no ɛbɛba wɔn bɛ announce sɛ wɔn ayi de afiri hɔ afei nso so wɔn san nso so de to dwa sɛ wokɔ port hɔ no mu a wɔn ɛbɛyɛ waivers bi nso ɛwɔ hɔ ɛno nso wɔn hwɛ anim sɛ ɛbɛba so ɛde ama Ghana fo na NDC foɔ no aka kyerɛ yɛ sɛ baabi a wɔn Ghana yɛ sikasɛm egyina no ɛnyɛ enti wɔn yɛ nhyehyɛeɛ a yɛbɛtumi agyina yɛn naso brane ɛwɔ sikasɛm mu ɛne nhyehyɛeɛ nso a ɛda yɛne IMF foɔ ntɛm no ne nyinaa no ɛyɛ ɛkwan a ɔbɛfa so a yɛbɛgyina yɛn naso afei nso so ɛka yɛdeɛ no abo sɛdeɛ na wɔkɛn sɛdeɛ ɛbɛyɛ wɔn bɛ manage ka no na wɔn mmuru bebree nso so ɛnka ho ɛno nso so yɛ adeɛ a yɛhwɛ ne mu ɛwɔ budget ne mu paa na daily graphic dobokrata yi ka sɛ Dr. Kesi atofo se na no kɔma kɔla sɛdeɛ na no pane ne yɛ ka no wɔne market women ɛna afeka yofoɔ ɛne wɔn yɛ businesses ɛwɔ yɛ man yi mu no akɔkɔdi nkɔmɔ pii na nkɔmɔ no na wɔ bisabisa wɔn sɛ nneɛma bɛn saa na ɛha wɔn business na wɔn yɛ na dwa na wɔn die no wɔso ɔmanfoɔ no nsɛm a wɔn kan no ebi ɛkyerɛ sɛ ɛnɛ yi cost of doing business no ekosoro enne wokoto ade no a ochina ne yatom nti ama omo sika bɔten no eya na eha wo mo adwene afenso so taxes no do so dodo bi wo ho so wo soro dodo eno so adwadifo no de to nanim ena city no so entumi nyina na aso no eno so eha businesses pa enti wode ato wo mo anim se watie na sopem se de ebeye bia no aban ebeye nhyehyeye asa na ema nyina no ebeba fom na wasi budget no obekenkan ne kyena no enema ne bebre ne fapem no eye ensem a ebaaye ewo national economic dialogue no emu eno na aban no de aseti tone na wode ye reset agenda no yenhwe ne mu se budget no ne fapem bebre ebegyina economic dialogue no ensem a epiepie ewo hɔ no no daily graphic da obokrata den semo a wode aba no pay eno
Nana Kwesi Chebafo says, come on, honorable. It appears Nanado is taking a greater portion of the blame from certain quarters for MPP's defeat in the December 2024 elections, but we should not forget the following. The 8-year ruling cycle between MPP and NDC did not favor MPP. Adverse effect of the hung parliament, 1, that's 2. The general unemployment problem, 3, high cost of living arising out of Corona and Russia invasion of Ukraine and the resultant disruption of the supply chain. That's the 4th one. Let's think of these. Ansani about President Kufuor Sobo Nana Kwesi Chebafo Kufuor and Odi we buy. Now Moses Fianco says, tell Abena that it is not only doom so water and so can no water supply to this the change Ghanaians has have called for. Nana ne ohono no uninsu na kan ya san yadum and the obey and the impressive and constructive. I love how you and Abena are conducting your business. May you be blessed. Ohene Ebu Bonsra Akra Edasia no pay se so owa utie. Thanks for joining us. Okay. Pythagoras theory. Hey Charlie, now Ghana had It's time to stop taking citizens for granted. Politicians shouldn't be exempt from paying their utility bills just because they hold public office. Using public funds to cover the utilities of the president, ministers, CEOs, and other heads of institutions must end. They should be held to the same standards as every other Ghanaian and pay for their own services. The president, ministers, CEOs, and appointees should pay their utility bills like every other Ghanaian because they are also Ghanaian. Okay, it feels unfair. Na ya to abama there. It feels unfair. Ya to about the amount. This will not only promote equality and fairness, but also reduce the financial burden on the state. It should also encourage them to be more mindful of their consumption and spending. minia fairness and equality and our here. By is here in Crawford by a form that I you already and I want to. Pythagoras theory. Thanks for joining us. I'm not young for the Bocrat and the Twasso.
Yo, Daily Graphic Moana, we over page 13. Or the Abase Mampeni John Dramani Mahama or Construction Ewo Alliance of Sahel States Nemo. Na the first stop no call Mali. Na President John Dramani Mahama and what she said what they nansa NSC Alliance of Sahel States no wako womo enaso na no de Mali and odi kan ekoya one transition leader wo ho ekokodi nkomo na womo kasa ye no efankese no ejina se ayonkofa mapa ebekoso ewo aman ahodo no nyina entem na fe security concerns nso a ewo West African state ahodo mu no eno so womo edi eho enkomo ene terrorism enyina ye nim se sei ebibimen mu me ayahodo bebre enya de a aban no ewo total control aban na fafa ena duate dom so afafa enti aman no bebre wo ho a temamufo na omamufo no wo mo eni ahotokra enti na discussion nyina akogina kwan obefa so a sa na ema nyina ebefri ho na Mali transition president General Assimi Goita ena wo oje mampani ene mpanimfo no wo koya baba edu wo ba Mali wo presidential palace ho na tono ede mampani eko Ghanaian community ewo Bamako ewo Mali ho ena wo ne Ghana fo ewo Bamako ho eko twetwen komo ena wo kyese Ghana eniema hodo pi ena ekoso wo mo soso wo Mali ho no omunye Omanfm de emfante Ghana nim ewo eho na wo kyese mampani wo ba yi wako Niger sa trip ya wako no beko Niger ene Burkina Faso nso na nsa ene wodi esi ho no a wako sa aprobo yi eno so Daily Graphic do bokrata no e de aba ene anopai honorable
okay
na trade minister ena trade agribusiness and industry Elizabeth Ofosu Ejare minister ena wodi ato Ghana Standards Authority enim se cement manufacturing companies bebre wo man mu a wo cement wo de badwa so no in fact wo de tenta honorable cement dey wapa enti sa factories ni nyina wo close ne down wo tutum na wanhwe yi a ebe kakra wo cement wo de badwa so nkrofo be kwa akofa ebe de eja edan a ebubuguo ene beba wo man mu enti one Ghana Standards Authority hia no ene wo se sa de se yanhwe ho asem anka na ye yusu sa substandard cement no e de sisi adan ya be kakra no be hu an se yesi dan bi adwregu wa ha dan bi adwregu wa ha eno so de ye mpese ye beti bi wo man mu bi eno nti ene wo de sa asemi ato wo mani mu na wo mo entu eho anamo
okay ade achi ade asen busuafo especially se usha e a won sheda nhunu but unyine no na ubehia nuane nura ebeboa ama nipadua no nema hodo a no nso behia na wotumi ama wonipadua na gina ne nan so no sese won so wonsa etimi eka enu nti no Onyankopon aya adom na waboa ye ewo enuaba ene haban a eboa ye no kwa asem ne se wo fa nipadua yi na se ohwe nipadua num na open nuane nura hodo a ewo mu a highly possible na possible so se wo fa note a wo asase so a se the Bible can say the dote ne boy no nuane no bebre nso benya wom na emu no ubekwa akonya e de afiri sanse note no ntime nwenti ubetumi anya e de afiri enema hodo a yedua na papa na eboa na make say de me beton bibi sonko ya organic e de amount na se onsa ka bia ebeboa wo pa cold milk seed ene yede flax seed ne sunflower pumpkin seed and afi niema hodo etete saa no eboa mani padua no ahoden tumi kosoro te se omega 3 fiber and afi protein ahodo ya ene eboa ma wonso so ahoden akosoro no ese se okona okope bi eto no krenso ene se enye no nko pomegranate enso so ewo ho no mo a eno nso eye juice ronko a aba ya eye organic na eno nso ebeboa wo we nom no ekure nuane nura ompani mfi a wadie so no se edidie kura na woni di a obehia se obenya vitamins ahodo a ebe boost o energy level na ma immune system no nso atumi akosoro eno nti bomoden sa obefre na onso akwakope bi ato no kwase mi sa wote flax seed wote sunflower wote pumpkin seed wote eniema ahodo a te se omega 3 na se yesi akeka ni nyina bom de aye bibi soronko a esese wotumi de sika kitwe bi to na eboawa na esese wo yiwani bomodin se obefre 0539 982593 0539 982593 0539 982593 na afi na ya hyase na wonso kotobia na wodi ho adanse enso de akire wo bisanse ebeboa boost immune system no ama o supplement ahodo a wo hia ni nyina nso on say tumi aka ma nipadua no akọ nanim abananya akoyanko yanim
yo honorable daily graphic mo a na me wei na obo amane se wo komra hyebedwa mo a sese wo mo de committees aba any leaders a wo mo ebedi committees no anim na eno enie wo chese parliament ese sanhyehyeye yi no ebeboa ama wo madwuma a wo mo eye no atumi akwanim enti bills any budgetary allocations ni national programs no committees ahodo no na ya na wo mo hwe committee on privileges ya ye friend privileges committee no owura Bernard Ahiafo on na yedwam tenni na honorable Kwabena da Kumensa no ranking committee on subsidiary legislation eno soso no eye opposition ni na eche eno nti honorable Patrick Yaboama na ye chairman na Francis Xavier Sosu Madina on ye ranking committee on assurances eno soso opposition ni na eche nti honorable Dominic Nitiwu na ye dwemteni na honorable Bawa Brahma ye ranking committee on finance and as a finance committee no honorable Isaac Adongo honorable Isaac Adongo na ye finance chairman ne ranking kane Minister of Finance Mohammed Amin Adam
okay
and a committee on public accounts and as a public accounts committee honorable Abna Osasari and a chairperson
yeah I know they are no opposition na
yes
yeah.
Congratulations to her and ranking no Ora Samuel Atamils committee on economy and development honorable Erica for and a Teni honorable Kojo Oponkroma and a ranking committee on the budget and also so na opposition chair until honorable Kweku Kwating and a Teni and honorable Richard Champon a ranking committee on gender, children and social welfare and chairperson honorable Helen Ajuantoso and a ranking Adelaide in team committee on constitutional and legal affairs honorable Shaibu Mahama na Edwem Teni honorable Kwame Anyimeduentri and a ranking committee on food, agriculture and cocoa affairs Dr. Godfred Sedu Jaso Edwem Teni and honorable Isaac Yao Opoku a ranking committee on lands and natural resources honorable Collins Dauda na Edwem Teni honorable Kweku Amprechu Sapon a ranking committee on health Mark Ketz Nawani on a Edwem Teni and a doctor na you free and a year ranking committee on works and housing Vincent Opon Samoa Edwem Teni no Martin James Sakosa and a year ranking committee on local government and rural development Queensta Soya and a Edwem Teni Francis Asensobuache a ranking committee on information and communication Abednego Bandim Azuma and a Edwem Teni honorable Matthew Nyidam and a ranking committee on foreign affairs Alfred Okovandapoy Okwa you send one minister no anyabi hey Alfred Okovandapoy committee on foreign affairs on a Edwem Teni and Samuel Abujinapo a ranking committee on employment labor relations and pensions honorable Joseph Apia Boateng on a Edwem Teni and honorable Mavis in Kansa Bodu a ranking committee on defense and interior James Agaga honorable chairman and honorable John Intimfojo a ranking committee on trade industry and tourism Alexander Hotoje on a Edwem Teni Michael Ochrebefi and a ranking Committee on Environment, Science and Technology. And also no opposition and a chain. The Honorable Yafrin Poadro and a Yedrum Professor Hamza Adam and a ranking. Committee on Education. Peter Nochukotoi, Jumcheni, Dr. Yao Oseduchum, ranking. Committee on Youth and Sports. Henry Nogbe, Chairman. Vincent Asefua, ranking. Committee on Energy. Emmanuel Kwesibejra, Chairman. George Kwame Abuaje, ranking. Committee on Roads and Transportation. Isaac Eje Mensah, Chairman. Kennedy Osenyako, ranking. And a Committee on Security and Intelligence. Dr. Zinato Ajima Rollins, Chairperson. And a Dr. Brian Champon, ranking. And
a committee on Brofo.
If you are able to take collapse banks, and people who was unemployed, if you are able to take collapse banks, and people who was unemployed, you cannot today say that. But even Mr. Speaker, with determination. Yesterday, I am so surprised. My respectable colleague, he made mention that he couldn't even hear. He couldn't even hear that His Excellency John Dramani Mahama spoke about job creation, and then he said any initiatives. But if
direction no person ko na ohu
me ntiase honorable ebi aje se ekotie full tape no dia but we so nka wakakra
so full tape no say down we see now
dia o pa kire
wo she da hunu dia o pa kire o
ase o say omo ebe yi collapse bank ne mankrofo adwuma bo omo e na omo so omo anti say President Mahama I can job creation o say and yesterday I'm surprised say me anso no yesterday I'm surprised honorable menti asem na se
sa wa anso no dey
yesterday I'm surprised people was
Odene honono
won sa me brane sa no opa bibia gia afrim ho no
what for Tonchi herbal capsules.
Oh, and you know quite obetumi aka biu. Tonchi herbal capsules for male vitality.
Kaneno na wa ho keka wo fam. Nanso me ho se ho ayedin.
Oh, me fa Tonchi herbal capsules. Ma pom dressing that them. In fact, how na me wono every ho.
Tonchi herbal capsules.
E mema wadi mfiedum wa twede kronkwa na efa. Enye ma apemfo e ma wo mo money for nkwada wadi mfiedum ye no. Eye good ma me say.
Tonchi herbal capsules.
E wo pharmacies, herbal and over the counter medicine sellers. Frequent Tonchi Links Limited. It was 0553 511 159.
Tonchi
FDA ajejwe nkrato ya tum
3CP efie bia hia 3CP bambo. If you are able to take collapse banks, and people who was unemployed, you cannot say that. But even Mr. Speaker, with determination. Yesterday, I am so surprised. My respectable colleague, he made mention that he couldn't even hear. He couldn't even hear that His Excellency John Dramani Mahama spoke about job creation, and there is any initiatives. But if
Muntutu Munyi carried, they even pushed him aside. What I saw, and I'm sure the videos will confirm that, his table and his mic was forcibly taken out. And I heard the chief whip. The chief whip was the commander-in-chief of the chaos and the violence. He was directing them what to do. Muntutu Munyi carried.
Oh, we didn't see that in the video, that the chairman's microphone was taken away. Who took the microphone, the chairman's microphone away?
Even though I was seated here calmly, I could see and hear all of what was going on. And he said, Muntutu Munyi.
But you can't confirm who took the chairman's microphone.
I would need to refresh my memory on that.
Okay,
on
because
that
we don't have on record.
Yeah.
Ghana for Atuabe Nuomuho. They started their own internal fight. It's up to them. It's up to them. It's up to them. Even the appointment they are making so far, it's like wait for Baku, Mr. for Baku, wait for Baku, Mr. for Baku. Already they are rendering the president a lame duck already. It is obvious the way the appointment is going. We can see you have to align before you are considered. It is obvious. It is obvious. All the talent, the prominent talent in this chamber, because they have no godfather, they are not being considered. The independent members of parliament who align with the NDC majority, not a single one of them has been considered. Not a single one of them has been considered. Bonnie Bay. This is a true family and friends government. You must be a friend to somebody before your name will go. Why are you not all NDCs? Mr. Speaker, the president says that he has so many MPs, he doesn't know what to do with them. It is a reason why so many of them are also not entering this chamber. Because he's rendered them redundant. He has rendered them redundant. There is huge frustration. And he couldn't come into this chamber to assure Parliament that the members of the majority side, we are not talking about us, your side. He couldn't assure even the majority of constructive engagement for the purposes of governance. Many are desperate. You see them, they don't know where they are going. Are you going to be on a board? I don't know. Are you going to be a deputy minister? I don't know. Mr. Speaker, how should the MPs go and account to their people? Mr. Speaker, this government offers no hope to its own members. If a member of parliament who is part of a 24-hour economy does not know when resources will come for the constituents, what about the ordinary member of the community? What about the foot soldier? This is the state of hopelessness. Ghana for Atuabe Nuomuho.
Chairman, I will not stand by overruling the questions that you are not going to demonstrate any dance.
You were whimsical.